It's going to be a very, very intense journey.
What's going on, everyone? And welcome to episode 166 of Frameskip, not sponsored by Genesis.
Woo!
Starring Phil Collins. I am Andie Eller. And I'm joined by the man who was just singing a moment ago, Seth Slakehouse. What's going on?
Nothing much, big dog. Just sitting here talking to you. That's what's going on.
Nice.
Hanging out.
How does it feel? How does it feel?
Feels pretty good. I feel
Nice.
a lot of energy today.
Nice.
I think we're really gonna put on a slobber knocker, as Jim Ross would say.
Wow.
By God!
George from Shortbox Summary. What's going on, George?
If Seth is gonna be can I be the king?
The king?
Can I be
Yeah, you
Jerry
can be
Lawler?
the king.
You're gonna play the heel.
Yeah. I like that. How do you guys
Here
feel
she
about...
comes! Oh my God!
Okay, this is more modern, but how do we feel about this leak, quote unquote, going around claiming that Cody Rhodes is going to play, is it Guile in the Street Fighter movie that he's supposedly been cast as?
I hate it. What are
Honestly,
we doing?
I've seen all those announcements. It feels like I've literally had this conversation with friends at bars. Like when I lived in San Francisco, I'd hang out with my buddies who were all like either video game nerds or just like movie nerds or just
Right.
80s nerds. And we just sat there. We were like, shit, man, what if Oscar Isaac was God, who's that weird dude who would just like his arms would stretch?
Oh,
Dollism?
yeah.
Doll,
Dolls.
yeah. Dalsim. And we're like,
Yeah,
what if he was Dalsim, man? Wouldn't that be kind of sick? It just seems like fan casting every time, which like I understand like real movie casting.
Yeah.
It is fan casting. Like that's literally what they're doing is like they're trying to do their best of what they think is cool. But it's just so much shit where I'm just like, there's no way this is real. There's no way.
Isn't Roman
this is real.
Reigns doing Zangief or something like that?
No, he's not Zangief. He was like a lesser known character. I'm like, you can't have Roman Reigns be that guy and then have Cody Rhodes be Guile. Like that doesn't even make sense. But it's like 50 Cent was cast in it too.
Oh, yeah,
And it's like, what the fuck are we talking? Like there was a period in a group chat where I just sent like 8 straight texts. I'm like, there's no way. There's no fucking way that 50 Cent, all due respect to Curtis Jackson, there's no way he's in this movie.
All the respect to Curtis Jackson.
Hey man, he got shot 9 times. Now he walks with a limp, you know? Like
Jason Momoa as Blanca.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was thinking of, I think.
50
I
Cent
swore
is
Roman Reigns was cast.
50 Cent is Balrog.
Roman Reigns was
Balrog?
cast. I can't remember. It's like it's not Zangief and
I'm looking. Oh my god. Akuma. Roman Reigns.
That's who it is, yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Like, if we're doing a Street Fighter movie, I want these guys to be freaks, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even Cody Rhodes with the pro wrestler body is not freakish enough for me. I want these guys to be like, I want them to be like the top line of nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, let's
Just cocaine on legs.
Yeah.
How strange. What a strange cast. I don't know though. I mean, I feel like it's about time for a good Street Fighter movie.
That movie's not gonna make that movie's like
Oh.
it feels like the metaverse of a movie.
Yeah.
Like it's just like let's take all these things. Like it's like Fortnite where it's just like Darth Vader's fighting Goku and then like I don't know, fucking Christina Aguilera shows up and does an ultimate or like whatever, you know, like
Did you guys see the highlight clips of the Darth Vader fallout in Fortnite before they put
yes.
a leash on him?
Yes.
People were getting him to say all kinds of nonsense, and it was awesome. I
He
love
was
it.
dropping like F-bombs and like saying racist things and like it was
Yeah,
out of control.
No, that sucks, man. Like that is awful.
Yeah.
Like Fortnite needs to be stopped. And there was even worse, like Call of Duty had this shit too, where it was like Seth Rogen and Cornholio were like going up against it. I'm like, man, what happened to this game that like used to be beloved because it was serious? And like now it feels like everyone's chasing this same exact low hanging fruit where I'm like, I kind of miss my earnestness in my games.
I will say this. Go ahead, Seth.
And I was just gonna say the one that really stood out to me because I always thought Fortnite was kind of silly, but when they started doing this nonsense with like Call of Duty, I saw so many people sad on Twitter that like we can't even like the Call of Duty's lost its whole identity because now it's just all these skins running around. It looks terrible.
Now there's like Ninja Turtles in Call of Duty.
Well, yeah, man. Like last year, or not last year, the last Call of Duty game before Black Ops 6, like there was like Gundam skins, which like sounds sick, but like I almost bought them, but they were $20 each. I'm like, okay, so to get both of them, I have to spend 4/7 of the cost of the video. Like I'm not fucking doing that. And then it was like that, and like Rhea Ripley and Cody Rhodes had like appearances in the last Call of Duty game, and I'm like, yeah, it would be sick to give someone like a Riptide, but like I'm not paying $25 to play Call of Duty as Rhea Ripley. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
they've gotten out of control with that stuff. I mean,
yeah,
it's way out of control. I remember back in the day when skins were like $1.50, and now it's $25 for like a skin.
Does it line up
market
with when Microsoft acquired them? Or were they getting crazy before? Like I think it was
before, but I don't know.
I wasn't following too closely.
I think it was really like whenever Warzone first released was when this stuff started coming into play. Was like in Warzone, so I think that was before, right?
The Fortnite blueprint or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, like the reality is though, with the prices going up, is it's the community's fault.
Oh, for sure.
These companies, what they'll do is they'll put like, and World of Warcraft was famous for this. They'll put one skin up that's a little higher and see if people will buy it. And of course, everyone does. And then like, all right, well, people are willing to pay this much for the skins. Let's put one up in, a few months. It's a little bit more expensive and people will buy that one too.
Yeah.
And it's just like, they keep pushing and pushing and pushing to see where the limit is. And apparently we're up to like $25, $30 skins. So
no, and admittedly, that is a good comparison because it's like thinking even about FF14, like the custom mounts and stuff that you buy on the Mog Station or whatever it is. You have to go on the website and buy them. They're all like 20 plus.
Okay, but that one
slowly got more expensive.
Yeah.
I don't play that game, but like I have to assume like it's at least true to Final Fantasy. Like you're not buying the fucking car from Back to the Future as your mount, which like that to me feels gross.
Right.
Where it's like, hey, you remember this thing? Let's enjoy this thing. Also, give us lots of money because you remember this thing. Right. At least in Final Fantasy, it's like contextual to the game. I don't play it, so I don't really give a shit. But like, in my head, there's a difference. And also, like, do you guys remember how cheap horse armor was? And everyone was giving them shit.
I think it was $2, right?
Yeah, and everyone's just like, these guys are out of their fucking minds. And it's like, no, actually, these guys saw the future. And God, I wish that shit was still $2.
Yeah.
Like everyone seems to forgot about the idea of like an impulse purchase. Where it's like, no, I'll buy something for $1. I'm not going to pay $25 for some random bullshit. And I do think video games should be fun. Video games should be carefree. I completely agree with that. But they shouldn't be fucking preposterous, which $25 skins for Call of Duty, which like is a first-person game where you cannot see the skin.
Right.
Like that's where I'm like, man, fuck off. I hate to sound conceited here, but I turned my cell phone so much earlier today because it's Prime Days, which is like huge sales on Amazon. Yeah. And I was looking through, like, I'm obsessed with TV on DVD and Blu-ray and all that stuff. And I was going through and I added like 15 things to my cart. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And then I deleted 14 things from my cart. And I only ended up buying one thing for Prime Day.
Yeah.
Which was the Aqua Teen Hunger Force Complete Collection on DVD. So I'm like, all right, that's worthy because it was marked down from $100 to like $30. I'm like, that's a great deal. I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force. This is the only thing I'm buying.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't buy shit because then companies will think you're always going to buy shit and then they'll take advantage of you.
Right. It's easy to fall into that trap. Bullfrog in the chat is watching us live on YouTube, as you can as well if you're listening to us after the fact. He says Rhea Ripley is from his hometown.
Oh, from Perth?
You could play as her in Call of Duty, Bullfrog, if you want a hometown hero.
Perth boy in the chat. Hell yeah. I miss slapping a bag of goon. Hell yeah. Go Perth.
So, all right, guys. Well,
wine. It's a type of wine.
Thanks for those tuning in. Likewise, like I mentioned, if you're listening after the fact, thank you. It's been, as I'm sure you've all noticed, kind of a intermittent few months due to personal schedules and things of that sort. So thank you for your patience. But I think it's been about a month since we last recorded. It was put things into context, right before, apparently like a day or two before the Switch 2 dropped, as well as, I mean, just in the past month, so much has happened. It was right before Summer Game Fest.
Summer Game
So,
Fest, the
like, we had not
Microsoft
even,
conference.
yeah, that we didn't even
It was
talk about
right
that at all.
before the most epic French Open final in French Open
Yeah,
history, maybe. It was
true.
like a 5-hour set, five and a
It was
half hour
great.
set.
It was great. Yeah, I didn't watch any of it, but it was great.
Yeah. You work in news, you piece of shit. You should know.
So, but we wanted to start off today and just talk about the Switch 2 because we really haven't had a chance to talk about it. I was hoping Coach would be here because I think he's the hottest on Switch 2 among the three of us that have it. Seth does not have one, but the other three of us do. But alas, he's not here. He got thrown into a pit of lava. He's recovering in the hospital, so he'll be back next time we record. George, what do you think about Switch 2 so far, a month later?
I think it is extremely impressive hardware. I like the way it feels. I got it right here. The GameCube controller that they got for it is like my favorite way I've ever played a Nintendo game, probably ever. There's no reason for you to buy a Switch 2 right now. There's just nothing there. I have a good time with Mario Kart World. I think it's fun. I don't think it's the best Mario Kart game. I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the best Mario Kart game. So I've spent probably more time playing that on my Switch 2 than I have my new Mario Kart game. I've been playing a bunch of the GameCube games. But there's also no reason why that couldn't have come out on Nintendo Switch 1. So I bought my Switch 2 to get ahead of what I assume are going to be new tariffs coming in. I saw that there was a 25% tariff on Japan.
Yeah.
For no reason whatsoever. Not that this is manufactured in Japan, but I think the carts for Switch are.
That's my
so I bought it because I thought with Xbox raising their prices on Series X 5 years after the fact, I thought this was gonna be the cheapest I'd ever get a Switch 2. I didn't need to buy a Switch 2 at launch.
Yeah. What I guess my question to you, George, like the one thing, and I'll talk about my thoughts in a moment, but what do you think about like the shape of like the hardware itself, like physically? Because like I'm struggling. I thought I was going to enjoy how much larger it is and the larger screen and the bigger Joy-Cons, but I actually don't like it at all.
I think it's really impressive. I think it's really well put together. I think this is the least handheld console Nintendo's ever made. I've only played it really extensively one time handheld, and that was when like you, Andy, and I were playing Mario Kart World. Just because I wanted to be upstairs so I could smoke cigarettes and drink beer outside, and I just didn't plug it into the TV, so I played it handheld. I think it's fine. I am just treating this as a home console. Like it's too heavy, it's too big, it's too bulky. I'm treating my Nintendo Switch Lite, which I'm playing more than my Nintendo Switch 2. That's my handheld, and that is kind of what I want from Nintendo at this point. Honestly, I've been playing my Vita a ton lately, just like looking at like the proto Switch. I'm just like, fuck, this is so nice how small and light and compact this is. And I bought like a nice new over grip for it, so it like actually fits into my hands. I'm not getting cramped up. But no, it's too big to be a handheld. It's a great home console though, especially for GameCube games, which look fucking beautiful on a 4K TV.
Do you have a Steam Deck, George?
I do have a Steam Deck. I don't use it. I originally bought it to be like a PC that I could plug into my TV, and I never bought the dock. And I then was just like, oh, I'll just use this for emulating. I can't figure out how to turn the thing into a fucking emulator because I'm an idiot. I have too many video game consoles. Like I might actually sell some just because I'm like, what's the point of having all this shit?
Well, the reason I ask is I think what Austin was referring to was like the actual ergonomics of holding it. Right, Austin?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I immediately went to like the heft of it, like the weight of it.
And
like this is.
In my opinion, like the Steam Deck feels really phenomenal in your hands. It's like very comfortable to hold, and it feels really good. Whereas the Switch 1 for me actually gave me like hand cramps trying to hold it like a lobster. That was my biggest issue with this Joy-Cons.
For some reason, and I agree with everything you just said, Seth, for some reason, I feel like that problem is amplified for me on Switch 2, even though it's larger and the Joy-Cons are vertically bigger. You would think, maybe it would have a little more grip and it would be easier to hold. But I think the issue I'm having with it is larger, but still just as thin as it was before. And for some reason, I'm having issues like, I don't know, like I wanted to lay back and play it in bed or play on the couch or something handheld, and I just can't. Like my hands are not, I can't do it. Whereas the Steam Deck physically is about the same size, but it's got those like grips on the back versus the Switch and Switch 2 both. It's just flat. Like the Joy-Cons are literally just flat. There's nothing to grip onto. So that's the problem I'm having. But
are you shopping for Nitro decks for your Switch too?
I actually I don't have one of those on the way, or I haven't shopped around for them. But I did pre-order the new Satisfy grip. So
for me, it is the weight, which is just
the
like,
weight is troubling.
That's what makes it not feel like a handheld. And like my hands do cramp a little bit with my Switch Lite, but the fact that I can just like rest it on my little pot belly when I'm laying in bed and just like kind of spread my fingers out in a way, because like I don't have to use my fingers to support it. But like the Switch 2 is like kind of uncomfortable, which is why I've been using it as a TV console.
Yeah. I've been kind of doing the same because I don't really like the way it feels, and hopefully the Satisfy grip, I think it's the Zen Grip 2 is the new one. Whenever that drops within the next month or two, hopefully that'll improve the handheld experience a little more. But I've kind of been the same as you, George. I bought the Pro controller, and like I've kind of just been using it as a new home console, which is totally fine. But just to give my thoughts, pretty much spot on what you voiced a minute ago. For your impressions, George, I align pretty much identically with you. I think, and I mean, even our reasons for purchasing were the same. I originally was going to skip on Switch 2 and wait until the fall or like late winter, when Hyrule Warriors 3 came out, and like once there were several games out on the system, but the situation with the tariffs and just seeing, recently Microsoft announced they were raising the prices of all of their systems, which is like unheard of in modern, gaming terms. That really hasn't happened. I just frankly was concerned that we would find ourselves in a situation like that with Switch 2 in 6 months. Maybe the price would increase $50 or something like that. And that actually has happened in Canada already, as of a week or two ago. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, depending on where you live, of course. But here in the U.S., I certainly wouldn't put that out of question, depending on what White House policy procedures move forward over the next few months. But
it doesn't matter. Happen one day and then change. Your unpredictability about any kind of economic future from this administration, which like makes it such a pain in the ass. Like we were talking about like Play Asia just being like fucking annihilated by these tariff concerns, right?
It's gonna sound like we just censored George because you cut out immediately when you started talking about the Trump administration.
Yeah, you literally cut out for like a solid 5 seconds.
I'm sorry. I was saying like just the instability, like the unpredictability of this, and we were talking like in the group chat the other day just about like how like Play Asia is like kind of nuked right now, right? Like,
yeah. It is an unpredictable situation, and yeah, certainly like Japanese importers, specifically like Play Asia or Hobby Genki or any of those other sites, I'm sure will have issues with the currently implemented tariffs. But aside from the point, though, that's essentially the reason I got mine at launch, was just out of concern for what could come forward. And I agree with you, George. Like the hardware itself is well made. Like the Joy-Cons, aside from my handheld issues, like they're nice. I like the way the magnets work. I think that was like when they first announced all this, a concern of mine. Like, is it actually going to be able to snap in there and stay snug on the system? We'll see long term. I definitely right now think it feels more sturdy than the first set of Joy-Cons on the Switch. Like there's no wobble or anything like the railing system had. But it's hard for me because I have to say that right now I'm disappointed with the system, but it's not necessarily the system itself. It's more so like the circumstances and the games that are out. I was really hoping Mario Kart World was going to be like a really good iteration of Mario Kart, and I don't really feel that way. I think it's a solid like 7 out of 10. I don't even think it's remotely on the same level as Mario Kart 8 for me. The tracks are good, but the whole like driving between tracks thing, I absolutely hate it. I think it's you spend 3/4 of your races on these like highways, and then a quarter of your races on the tracks themselves, which I really just strongly dislike. So that, and like there's so many different online things that they never improved on from 8. They didn't add a way to party up with friends and then join public lobbies, which is ridiculous to me. I don't know why that's not something that they could have added to this game when people complained about that for a decade in 8. And then really like the unlockable system is just pretty poor in that game. All you can get is, you get the costumes for certain characters, not all of them, and then the carts. But when you're going around the open world, like there's basically no reason to do anything. You get stickers, which is pointless. So there's no reason to get stickers. But that's kind of where I'm at. Like I'm trying to kind of hold back on like just nailing the thing, but I'm waiting for DK coming out this month, which I'm sure is going to be incredible. Came out today, I think that the director is the same guy that did Odyssey. So
yeah, DK is for all intents and purposes the launch game, right? And I I bought this for Metroid Prime 4, and like I never want to say like, oh, I'm concerned about this, because like frankly I don't give a shit. I got like enough in my life to worry about. But like, how has there been no more details about Metroid Prime 4 in the past 6 months? I don't really understand that. Like, Metroid Prime is one of my 3 or 4 favorite games of all time, so I'm really looking forward to the new one. But like, fucking talk about it, please.
Yeah,
I think what you mean to say is like the past 6 years.
Sure, but like then it seemed like it was last summer, right? Where like it got like a big preview during like the summer Nintendo Direct, and then like they showed a little bit of it 6 months ago, right? Like in January or March, whenever that one
something
was.
like that.
And it's like there's no date for Switch 2, which is insane to me.
There's got to be a Direct soon, right? Like we know about all these games coming. I think the only one that we have a date on is Pokemon, right? Like we don't have a date for Prime or Kirby Air Riders or the new Hyrule Warriors. Like none of that stuff has dates. The new Splatoon spinoff, even the 2 Switch games they announced, Tomodachi Life and Rhythm Heaven, whatever the new one's called, like those don't have dates either. So we have all these games coming out, and we only know one, which is that Pokemon is in October, I think.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm a huge Pokemon fan, and I think that game looks like doo-doo. I think it looks really bad.
I'm not really interested in that game, to be honest.
Not a game I'm buying at launch. That's probably like when that game comes out, like that's probably when I'll go revisit Scarlet and Violet on Switch 2.
Yeah. But point being,
I think.
Oh, go ahead, Seth.
Well, I was gonna say, I think what you might be feeling also, Austin, is just what I have learned are what modern console launches might just feel like, right? Like, it's the reason I'm probably not going to buy the PS6 until like at least 2 years in, is because I remember when the PS4 launched, and then also when the PS5 launched, I was like, this thing's just like a giant paperweight, like you play it and then you get like the original launch big hit out of the way, and it's like, well, there's nothing else coming out for this thing right now, so
and I think the difference is too, like thinking back on it, of course Switch 1 came out, and I know you guys weren't into it, but for me, when Breath of the Wild dropped with Switch 1, I mean, I put like 100 hours into that game over a few week time span, whereas I've played 15 hours of Mario Kart World, and like that's enough for me. I really don't have a desire to play much more. So,
and that's with someone who also plays the game with you, right? Like that's like Andy would play with you.
We've played it a lot together. Like we did all the Grand Prix and Knockout Tour, like single player, like getting the 3 stars and all that stuff together. And like that's enough. I don't really feel a need. Of course, I'll keep playing it multiplayer with you, George, or when Coach eventually gets around to it. It is. I don't want to. Let me clarify. I don't think Mario Kart World is a bad game. It's just
No.
as a huge fan of 8, it's disappointing. I still think it's fun. Like there are good aspects of the game. I think the multiplayer is still really good, but
Knockout Tour, whatever it's called, like
Knockout
that's
Tour is
super fun. It's great how like they figured a way to add new stress to Mario Kart, which I thought had peak stress with 8, but they figured out a new way to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like it's good. It's not great. It's fun, but it's not special. And like DK Bonanza or whatever the fuck it's called, like that's the one I'm really looking forward to. And then hopefully Metroid Prime 4 before the end of the year. But
the only thing
I'm cool. Sorry, please.
No, I was just saying the only thing I saw the conversation about Mario Kart is there was a lot of controversy around the turning assist. And now it's on by default.
Oh, that is very frustrating. As somebody that has played quite a bit of local multiplayer, it's not an issue online. But have you done any like local stuff with it, George, yet?
I haven't played any.
So anytime you bring in, basically the game remembers your settings as player 1. So like if you have turning assist or whatever off, it'll remember that. But anytime you bring in additional players, it defaults turning assist on no matter what. So every single time you play with somebody, you have to tell them, oh, by the way, hit X and go turn this off before we do anything, which is just a pain in the ass. Like, why is that on by default? I don't know. So yeah, I don't understand that either. But I think just to bring in Bullfrog in the chat, he said he's happy with the life it's pumped back into older games. So many runs, so much more smoothly. He was mentioning he's been playing Hogwarts Legacy, which I did see is like massively upgraded on Switch 2 compared to the original, which isn't that surprising. But I haven't really messed around with third party.
That's where I'm netting out though. Is that like the Switch 2 is like, okay, this is just like a Super Switch right now. Like this is gonna play Switch 1 games better. Like I never spent much time in Breath of the Wild. I played most of it on Wii U, which is weird. I just didn't have a Switch when it came out. And like Scarlet and Violet and Tears of the Kingdom. Like I'm excited. Like I assume Wonder is also going to get like a Switch 2 upgrade or whatever. So I'm excited from that aspect. But it's like, man, it kind of sucks that like the best thing about your new console is that it plays your old games better.
That does suck. That's true.
But that's what I did with PlayStation 5, where I'm just like, I had to launch PlayStation 4, so PS5 was just like running games, PS4 games like competently in a way that I wasn't used to. Like I had to stop playing Jedi Fallen Order, I had to stop playing Control because they just ran like shit on my base PS4. You know.
I am curious.
And then you got Jedi Survivor on your PS5, and that also ran like
still runs
shit.
like crap. Yeah.
I had a great time.
I actually love Jedi Survivor.
I'm so glad I went back and played that game. It's so good. I am curious though to our topic currently. I'm curious what games get upgraded like in the coming months. I would hope that it wasn't just like this launch rush and that's kind of all we get. Like I really freaking hope the Xenoblade games get upgraded because 2 in particular.
Oh my god.
Runs like handheld literally at like 360p or something. Literally.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, the only reason the first one runs well is because like, it's a goddamn Wii game, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot that really needs upgraded. I hope we see it. So we'll see. It would be cool to see more third-party stuff get upgrades too. Like I'd love to see Monster Hunter Rise get a 60 frames update. Although they can apparently barely get that game running on Wild's the most recent one running on anything. So
yeah, do you think they would upgrade Rise, or do you think they would just put all the resources into Wilds?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I hope they do because I'd love to get a better version of that game on Switch too, but we'll see. So, but point being, I agree with George. I don't really, unless you're just waiting for the games coming out. I really don't think Switch 2 is worth it right now. Personally, you don't really need one, but if you've got a lot of games, if you're wanting to play Echoes of Wisdom, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Bayonetta 3 is another one. Apparently, they got a big upgrade. You know, if that's stuff on your radar, it could be worth it. But for me, like, to be honest with you, I've been still playing far more of my Steam Deck than I have my Switch 2. So, Seth, do you have like any interest in one? Is there like a game that would get you to buy one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm already committed. Like, I'll buy a Switch 2 if the next Pokemon game, if I'm wrong about it.
Yeah.
My gut, I've been doing this for so long that I trust my gut when it comes to games. I think the new Pokemon game coming out and being isolated to a city was a horrible idea. If it comes out and everyone's, raving about it, I'll buy a Switch 2. And if that's not the case, I'll buy a Switch 2 when the next Xeno game comes out. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. And then it'll probably be, entertainment center, like, ornament until the next Xeno game comes out after that. So,
like, while we're on the subject of Pokemon, the more I think about it, do you guys care if it's 3D or not?
Oh,
like a Diamond Pearl remake style game, Shining Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, whatever, versus like a Scarlet Violet. Like, do you care?
Not as much as I thought I would. I think I would care more if Game Freak was a competent developer, and I think if they could make open worlds that were interesting and the type of open world we've come to expect in modern day, I think it would be really great. But they've shown so far that they are completely incompetent in the way they develop their worlds. Any sort of open area, I think, is just horribly
pretty embarrassing.
Pitiful. Yeah, it really is. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's just weird because they had a great showing at the Xbox conference.
That game is such an asset flip bullshit. When I saw their logo pop up, I was like, okay, all right, buddy. And then even the trailer ran at like 10 frames a second. I was like, okay.
That was my first reaction. Pal. Like, even the trailer was running at 20 frames, and I was like, yep, that's Game Freak, all right. Yep. They nailed it with this one. Good job, guys. Good job.
Morons, dude. They have the most profitable, the biggest property in the world, and they can't get it right. And it's totally embarrassing for them.
So, just to answer your question, George, I love the idea of a Scarlet and Violet type game, or Sword and Shield, or Arceus, or this new one. Like, as far as the 3D open world, I think it's great. But if this team cannot make games of that sort properly, like competently, I mean, honestly, would I be opposed to seeing something like a continuation of the 3DS style of game? I don't necessarily want to go back to like Diamond and Pearl remake. I think that's maybe a step too far back for me. But like that almost halfway point where, you had Sun and Moon and Omega Ruby and whatever, and X and Y. Like, I did really like that style where it was still kind of top down, kind of 3D, but not fully. Like, I thought that was a good kind of mix. So if that's like the only thing they can competently make, to Seth's point, then I would be totally okay with that.
I feel spoiled after Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, where I'm like, I think all I need is to like just see the Pokemon I'm trying to catch.
Yeah.
And then like everything else besides, I'm like, this is fine enough. Like, I enjoy the world, I enjoy the mechanics. I don't need it to be more complicated. Like, I don't need it to look like The Last of Us 2 for me to like be into it,
Yeah.
Kind of horrifying, even if it did look like The Last of Us.
Right.
Hyper realistic.
But even like Sword and Shield, dude, you strip those wild areas out of Sword and Shield, and I still think the game is great. I think the wild areas actually like bring the quality of the game down because they run really bad. They were kind of stupid. It was just it didn't really work well. And when you were just on the regular routes in Sword and Shield, it was like your old school Pokemon games, and I think that was totally fine. And I think the like the gym leader battles in Sword and Shield, I hated that they made you wear those dumbass outfits, but like that was That was the coolest gym leader battles we've had in a decade or something like that. You know, you walk into that stadium and the crowd's cheering. Now, I do hate Gigantamaxing. I think that's the worst gimmick Pokemon's had, but
yeah, it's the best since like Black and White, where it's like, oh, the gyms actually feel like puzzles and actual challenges. Yeah.
This is off topic from Pokemon, but related to Switch 2. Alden is in the chat. What's going on, Alden? Thanks for joining us here. He asks, and this is something I was thinking about recently, what do you think the chances are of Switch Online, so like the GameCube Online and whatnot, all the other apps that we have on Switch now, getting Wii games? He says he asked because the direct sequel to Fire Emblem Path of Radiance is a Wii exclusive, and they have confirmed that Path of Radiance is coming to the GameCube NSO app at some point in the near future. I think pretty high. I mean, those games are...
I think they have to.
Pretty much like graphically the same. So, and it works. Like they've already got the motion controls with the Joy-Cons. They'd have to figure out a way to, since there's no sensor bar like we had with the Wii, they'd have to figure out a way just button wise to like reset your, like calibrate your Joy-Con every now and then.
They had that with the Skyward Sword remake, which was like fucking terrible. Like, I actually think that's like a really bad port, and they should feel bad about it because like they didn't fix shit.
Yeah.
I'm very mad at that game, but no, I think they actually like have to do it at this point. And like, what's that Damon Hatfield quote that he got from GDC, where some developer was like, "I hate the Wii. It's just like two fucking GameCubes duct taped together." So there's like no excuse power wise why they couldn't do it, but also it's like they made it such a point of the Switch too. It's like you can only play GameCube games on the Switch too. It's like, all right, bitch, like. We're gonna run out of games pretty soon on GameCube because like you've actually like remade some of the bigger ones. Like I'm actually genuinely shocked that they did not release Twilight Princess, which had a Wii U port, and Wind Waker, which had a Wii U port on Switch. That would have made me so like then I think Switch unequivocally would be the best Nintendo console of all time. But they didn't do that. So I think there's still some room to grow for Switch 2. And I think they have to do Wii games.
Yeah, I agree with you. I still like. It's still really surprising to me that they didn't release those two Zelda games on Switch. And I think the problem is now that you've got Wind Waker on Switch 2, they would kind of cannibalize their audience if they suddenly are like, oh yeah, here's Wind Waker on Switch 1. So
it's so weird that they have like a better version of the game.
Yeah. And it's not just graphically. They've got the quick sale or whatever it was called that like drastically improves that game.
Yeah, it made it like 6 hours shorter, right? Because like you just didn't have to do all the random bullshit that you had to before.
Yeah. So I don't know, but
I'm really excited. I'm not playing my Switch 2 a lot, but like as soon as they release like was it Pokemon Gale of Darkness? Like I haven't played that game since I was in college. Like I will absolutely make a bag of popcorn, crack open a 6-pack of beer, and just like sit on the couch on a Friday night and just play that game for 6 hours.
Yeah. There's a lot that I want to play. I mean, you know, I've got Dolphin and whatnot on my Steam Deck and got it on my computer too, which is great. But there's just something about like playing it on Nintendo hardware. I mean, I know they're still just emulating it just like I am on, you know, elsewhere, but it's just nice. And I agree with you, George, that new GameCube controller is great. And you cannot currently connect that to computer. There's no way. There's something about like the encryption behind the connection protocol that prevents it from being used on Dolphin.
Even with a USB-C?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm sure that'll be broken into it at some point, but for now, there's no way to use that new GCN.
I did buy a wired GameCube controller with a USB just to when I finally do crack emulating.
Did you guys see this queue is cracked in like 6 hours? Like it was like a record time. That was awesome.
Crazy. I'm sure it has something to do with like I'm sure it has something to do with like it being pretty similar to the Switch 1, but I don't know. I'm betting the UI is like the same, like the background code.
Did that make you more inclined to get one, Seth?
Me? No. Yeah, I just thought it was really funny. I can just see like the executives taking a security team out back and just like, all right, on your knees.
So yeah, I guess that's kind of our discussion on Switch 2. I mean, you know, not really a whole lot to say. Like I said earlier on, I wish Coach was here because I think he's a little hotter on the system than we are. I know he's been playing a lot of Pokemon Violet, which I understand runs considerably better. Switch 2, but still looks bad. So
I mean, I don't really know that the performance was my biggest issue with that game. Like there was a lot more serious issues I had with Scarlet and Violet. Mainly that nothing was interesting. I think that was my biggest issue with that game.
Switch
Nothing was interesting in that game at all.
What sucks about that game is like I didn't play a lot of it. I probably played like 4 or 5 hours just because like I thought it ran like shit. And I'm normally like, you guys know, I complain the least about frame rates. I complain the least about draw distance. Like I frankly don't give a shit about that. If the game is even 10% fun and like I can just sit there, drink a glass of wine and listen to a podcast, like I will fucking play a mediocre to bad game. Like I don't care. I just need like something to distract me from the fact that I'm going to die someday. That's really all I'm looking for in a video game.
Yeah.
Cool.
But man, that game looked like it looked like a TV show from the 2000s showing a video game, right?
Like Grandma's Boy.
Exactly. Yeah, but like not demonic, but like the other one that like JP was testing in his weird fucking test tube bed shit. Like it looked like such a fake ass video game.
Yeah.
Where like you're running from town to town, you're just like, oh, it's like someone just typed into ChatGPT, was like, green rolling hills, and then it was just like, oh shit, yeah, I guess that is technically a hill. There's nothing interesting or discerning about it. There's no depth, there's no artistry that I'd expect from 35-year veterans of the video game and industry to provide. That was, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, was this an accident? Like, did you guys like forget to send, like, did you not send the final version, but you sent like the third to last final version to
it's
print?
An accident.
Like it's just like, and like I said, like I hate complaining about that shit. Like I will never send my food back to the restaurant, but like, god damn, man, that game just looked like butt the entire time.
I like seriously though, it looks bad, it plays bad. The Pokemon they added are really cool, but that's the extent of like my praise for it, dude. The environment is boring.
Looks like a
the
PS2
legendaries. The legendaries are, which like that's what everyone's looking forward to. The end game and chasing. They're the worst legendaries I've ever seen in a Pokemon game.
Yeah,
the story was nonsense. I don't know, man. It's like they had a different plan and they switched at the last second, and then they added these DLC packs, right? And I got like halfway through the first island DLC, and then I realized that like the fucking dumb Pokemon with the masks were the legendaries of that island that you were supposed to catch, and I'm like, no, I think I'm good actually. Like I quit. I'm done. You know, and I wasn't about it. But the coolest part of that game is actually the last hour. There's a spot that opens up in the last hour of the game that drastically improves all those complaints that I just had. And I'm like, why? Yeah, why was the rest of the game not like this? It's like they built this part and they're like, well, we got to have something else for the players to do for 40 hours. You know, and they just, I don't know.
That's a good point.
Terrible.
Would you guys be interested in a 20-hour Pokemon game?
Yeah.
I
mean, that was the Let's Go games, right? Like, it's like 20 hours.
And even X and Y, I think the story mode in X and Y, if I'm remembering correctly, was about that long. I don't think it was any longer than 30 hours.
Because I think that's like everyone's just like, oh, it's too expensive to develop games. I'm like, no, the problem is you made a 60-hour game and no one fucking wants a 60-hour game anymore, man. Like everyone's attention span is so shit that ads have to be 6 seconds. Like you think you're fucking special and that you get to make like a 65, 70-hour game? No, get the fuck out of here, man. Make a 20-hour game. Make a 15-hour game. That would be sick. That'd be incredible.
Bullfrog has a point. He says, I don't know, I like the story more than the other stories. Arden's story actually hit. And I would say yes, that Scarlet and Violet have a better story than most Pokemon games, but it's not told in a compelling way or in a consistent way. And I would go to the fact that you can actually play the 3 different stories in any order, and I think that breaks up the pacing of the stories completely. And I just they try to do too much. Game Freak, spend a little bit more money. Hire some people that are actually competent at making video games. Make them, you're getting embarrassed by rookie games like Power World. You know, it really is embarrassing for the developers of Pokemon to release games that look like dog shit like this. It's crazy.
It is crazy because it would be like, you know, I don't know. This is, I guess, a bad comparison, but it would be like Disney dropping a new like Pixar movie or whatever, and they used rendering software from 20 years ago or something. Like it just
looked like Toy Story 1.
I don't know. I really don't know. But to your point, Seth, I'm not that excited for ZA. I hope that it's good, but I was really hoping when they announced they were releasing this after like 2.5 years or 3 years, however long it's been since Scarlet and Violet, I was hoping that would mean like some significant improvements, but it looks exactly the same.
Yeah,
it looks exactly the same. Yeah. So I don't know. Before we move on to Microsoft, I just wanted to kind of interstitially, we could talk about kind of what we've been playing, because there were some other things I've been playing aside from Switch 2 that I could talk about. I don't know about you, George, but Seth, anything you've been up to these past few weeks? Anything you've been playing, or
dude?
Anything you want to talk about?
The Witcher 4 tech demos got me all fired up for The Witcher, and I went back and I started the New Game Plus of The Witcher 3. I only played the game one time. I played it when it was in its vanilla state, and I played it all the way through, and then I played it, you know, some of the updates with the DLC packs, but I haven't touched the game since then. And CD Projekt did a wonderful job of updating the game constantly and adding things the community wanted, and just adding all kinds of quality of life features and stuff. And then there was that rumor that next year there's going to be a new DLC or a new quest line put in the game for the connection to The Witcher 4. So I was like, all right, now's the time. I have nothing else to play, nothing else going on. Let me jump into New Game Plus. And it's just as good as it was 10 years ago, dude. The Witcher 3 is such an impressive, immaculate game, in my opinion. And the next gen update adds ray tracing or a 60 frames per second performance mode. They're both great. I keep switching back and forth. I can't decide which one I like better. But I will say that the game has aged wonderfully, and I am having a blast with it. I'm just about to finish the base game. I already completed Hearts of Stone because it takes place in the middle. I went with a different romance option than I did the first time. I kind of want to see a little bit more of what the game has to offer. And I was originally going to do just like a direct playthrough and just beeline it to the finish line. And then I was like, man, this is, knowing them, this is probably going to be a save that transfers. And
yeah,
I don't want to get a shitty ending. So in The Witcher 3, the more you do, the better ending you get. If you don't do hardly anything, like everyone dies and it's a terrible ending you get. So, yeah, it's been great, dude. I'm having a blast. I'm almost done with the base game. I don't know, but I can feel myself being kind of done with it, you know. And I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna play Blood and Wine or if I'm gonna jump over to Cyberpunk, because I really want to play Cyberpunk through again with all the updates and Phantom Liberty. So I don't know if I'm gonna do that yet, because Blood and Wine's like another 60 hours. Blood and Wine adds a massive amount.
Holy shit, it's that big?
It's crazy.
Yeah, Blood and Wine's huge. So I'm.
Is it a new area, or is it?
Yeah,
okay.
They added a whole new like country called Toussaint. And it's about vampires. The Blood and Wine is actually like a really phenomenal DLC package, as you know, CD Projekt is known to do. They've never put out a bad DLC, I don't think. So, yeah, it's really great. One thing I will say that I've noticed though is I despise the Red Engine. I'm so glad they're moving over to Unreal, because I think the Red Engine feels so bad. They did a good job in Witcher 3, and it's not as noticeable, but I think you feel it a lot more in Cyberpunk, where physics mean so much more. Moving Geralt around is like, you can tell that it's the Red Engine now that I've also played Cyberpunk, because I'm like, man, this engine just does not handle like character movement well. I think of the driving in Cyberpunk. I think the driving in Cyberpunk is the worst part of that game. Unfortunately, you have to do it all the time. So, but yeah, I'm having a blast. I love The Witcher. I'm all in on reading the books and whatnot again. So
eventually I'm going to play that game. I really need to sit down and do it. I would try to go back to Cyberpunk like a couple months ago and just was not feeling it.
Yeah.
It was a little too involved for me, like all the different hacking and stuff. It was more than I wanted at the time. But I think like as much as I enjoyed what I've played of that game, which I probably put in like 40 or so hours into Cyberpunk, I never beat it, but I think like I feel a little more inclined currently to go back to and try Witcher 3 at some point this year. I'd like to play it before 4 comes out. So
yeah, and I think it's interesting. I really do believe the rumor of the DLC that's connecting to The Witcher 4, especially because The Witcher 3 is so final, and I remember very vividly that when CD Projekt was doing The Witcher 3, they were, and even after it released, they're like, we're done with The Witcher, we're moving on, right?
Yeah.
And then of course it was a huge success, so they just can't stop making Witcher games now. But The Witcher 3's ending does not lend to a sequel very well. There's only one specific ending in The Witcher 3 that would lead naturally into The Witcher 4, as we can see it being previewed. So I think that's what this DLC or this new quest line is going to add. It's probably going to be a connection to The Witcher 4 and how they want to set it up. Because really, there's 3 different ways Ciri's path can go in The Witcher 3, and one of them, she fucking dies. So, and the other one, she doesn't become a Witcher, and then she becomes a Witcher. So it's like, how would you connect that to The Witcher 4? Because, they're obviously probably going to move the save transfers over. So they're probably going to put that quest line in there to make it make sense going into The Witcher 4 with your save.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll figure it out, though. They at least seem to care about the writing behind their games, so.
Yeah, they do.
George, anything aside from Switch 2 that you've been up to these past few weeks that you'd like to mention?
Sorry, I'm trying to win a bid on eBay right now. Give me just a second.
Oh, you're fine. Well, I can go ahead.
Please. Yeah, fuck yeah, got it. Sorry, I won the bid. I'll go. Thank you very much, Austin. No, I played 2 games in the last 3 weeks, basically. I am in that trophy war with my buddy Colin. So the game I've been playing, like before I go to sleep every night, is Lego Jurassic World on my Vita.
Ooh.
And man, I actually kind of really miss this style of Lego game where it's like really compartmentalized, like chapter-based shit. Not a big, confusing open world, but like Jurassic Park is one movie and there's like 9 chapters to play, and then like Jurassic Park 2 is another movie and there's like 6 chapters. I really miss that, how it felt segmented and it felt like a handheld game. In the other game, I finally beat it on hard. I have a challenge next week with my buddy where I bet him a 6-pack. And for my friend Fabio, that I couldn't get 5 platinums in the next week. Like that I took the next week off from work. And he said that I couldn't get 5 platinums in 1 week. And I'm like, bitch, I can get 5 platinums in 1 week. So I've been like making like a roadmap of what games I want to play. And I'm very excited to play them. But I've also just been like setting up dominoes to make them easier. So the other game I was playing was Star Wars Republic Commando.
Oh.
And nice. I played that game on hard, which was so fucking hard to do. Not because it's like a hard game, but because it's like a bullshit 20-year-old game where they just didn't think about stuff that would be important to gamers in 2025, nor should they have. But man, that game was such a pain in the ass to beat on a hard. Like it got to the point where like I would clear a room, save my game, go into the next room, clear it, save my game, go into the next room, clear it, but like way too far down on health, don't have any special ammo left. I think I can do that better without using all my special ammo. I think I can save some grenades. I think I can save some anti-personnel or some sniper ammo. So I'm going to load back to the old save and then try to do that room better. And it was so tedious, but it was also really rewarding when I actually beat that game on Veteran. It says that it's like a pretty easy platinum on PSN profiles. I think that game is actually harder than it's ranked on that. So if you get that platinum, good job, guys. Also, can I shout out a YouTuber right now?
Absolutely.
There's this Australian guy. Yeah, in addition to Frameskip, there's this Australian YouTube channel that I've really, really enjoyed the past few weeks named Mayor Hair Bear. And I think hair is spelled the normal way, and then I think bear is spelled a different. I don't know. But this is a dude who just makes YouTube videos about getting platinums in games, and he recently went through all of his PlayStation 3 games and decided he wanted to platinum every PlayStation 3 game he owns. So he made a spinner wheel of like 94 different games that still have obtainable platinums, and he just spins the wheel every week, and then like picks the different games. So week 1 was like the Up game, like the Up movie time game. And then he had to do like a Lego Clone Wars game, I think maybe, or like some other Lego game. And then he had to do a Ratchet and Clank game. And he's just like doing a new game every week. I'm just like, fuck, that guy is like makes very enjoyable videos and just documents the actual platinuming process in a way that I think is super fun. So I wanted to shout that guy out. But those are really the only 2 games. I played a little bit of Helldivers 2 the other night. That game is still fucking perfect.
Yeah.
But for Tuesday night video game session, everyone's sick of Helldivers. I think we're finally petering off of that. The other guys have been playing a lot of Call of Duty Warzone lately. I guess they introduced like a new casual mode that they've really been enjoying, just because it allows for more like conversation as opposed to like actual strategy talk. Sorry, conversation about life, so we can like find out how everyone's doing, as opposed to just like, oh, I heard 3 shots in the distance in Northwest. Like they don't have to talk like that. But PlayStation Plus just added Diablo 4. So I think that is going to be our new Tuesday night game going forward. So I'm looking forward to that.
I think just on that topic, I was thinking about this earlier. My PlayStation Plus is supposed to renew next month. I think for the first time in 15 years or whatever it's been, I am not going to renew my PlayStation Plus.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Because I don't play anything online, and I don't play any of these free games. Like, I just don't do any of it. So I think I'm going to try not having it and just see what happens. So unless a game comes around that I want to play online. But ever since I built my computer and now with Switch 2, really,
it does feel like the disc, like honestly, it used to be worth it. It was $50 a year when it first came out.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, I would recoup that money in 3 months, just like buying games at such steep discounts. Like I remember buying Need for Speed, or not, Burnout Paradise. Sorry, Burnout Paradise. It was like $8 on PlayStation Plus in like 2011, and I'm like, fuck, this game is normally $60. So like I'm saving $52, and PlayStation Plus only costs $50.
Right.
Like this is already paid for itself. They don't do that shit anymore, you know. So it's like I can buy a bunch of like random indie games and save money, but like it's ultimately not the same thing it used to be. And now it's all subscription based shit where it's like, oh, if you're the Premium Plus member, you get this PlayStation, you get to play Twisted Metal 3. It's like, cool.
The reality is for me, like the only reason I've kept it the past few years, I'd say, is for the cloud saves. But then I was thinking about it, you can just back those up on like a flash drive. You don't have to have, you don't have to have PlayStation Plus to have them. So we'll see what happens.
This is a good point, Austin. I'm gonna join you.
Yeah, I just don't play enough online.
PlayStation this year.
Yeah.
What?
I don't play enough online. I think that would be like the make or break thing for me. And certainly like if a game came out that I was playing online with people, I'm sure I'd.
So what you're saying is we will never play Monster Hunter together. Heard.
No, I can play it with you. I can play it with you because I have it on PC where I don't have to play on or pay for online. Okay. And it's crossplay.
Okay.
So
you know what, dude? I'm gonna be straight with you. You barely played Monster Hunter Wilds with me. Barely. You're on thin ice.
Me or Austin?
I played 105 hours.
Both of you.
I'm playing it.
I fucking tried to, man. And then like when you joined my game, we could only redo the 3 missions that like I had done. Or sorry, I joined your game. We could only do the missions I had done. I'm like, how can we advance the story so I could hunt a new fucking monster and see some new part of the world? That game has like the most ass backwards 2005 fucking online. Like they're just
it is pretty bad.
Just as bad as Nintendo.
It's worse in this game than like the past 2 games. So anyway, that's one of the games I've been playing because they dropped a new update a week ago, I think, or maybe it was early this week. I can't recall, but they added 2 new monsters. One was Lagiacrus from 3, which was the game from the Wii, and then Seregios from 4, which was on 3DS. And this is kind of their big summer update. The game's been crapped on quite a bit recently, at least in the PC community, because they really have made no effort to improve the performance, which I do agree is frustrating. But I still think it's good overall. The new update's been pretty good. The new fights they've added specifically are like really good callbacks to the older games. The Lagiacrus fight, which again was the monster from 3, they did a really good job with, because in that game he's a water monster, and in 3 only you could fight monsters underwater. So you would go underwater and like could swing your sword and like fight monsters while you're swimming, basically. So everyone was curious how they were going to make that work in this game with this update, bringing that monster from that game into Wilds. And they did a pretty good job. So there's not full underwater combat, but there's like underwater portions where you're going around like shooting torpedoes and like latching onto the monster and stabbing it while it's in the water and stuff. It's pretty cool what they did. So I like the update overall. I still think the game like is not one of my favorite Monster Hunter games. The end game in general is just pretty bad. Like there's not really much to do once you complete the content you're interested in, which is really unlike any other Monster Hunter game. Pretty much every single one like gave you plenty of things to do once you beat it. This one does not. So we'll see what they do with further updates and with the expansions. But so I've been playing that. And then the other game I really just wanted to mention is between the last episode and this episode, I beat Persona 3 Reload for the first time.
Nice.
So I finally beat this damn game after like however long of wanting to play it. I think it was even last year, one of my goals was to beat the game, and I didn't even play it. So I was glad to get through it. It's phenomenal. I think, I understand why people love 5, like stylistically and graphically. I think 5 is excellent. The music in 5 is really good. But I actually think, and I know you're on the same page as me, Seth, but the plot in 3, the story and the way the characters develop is like far superior to 4 and 5. If you haven't played 3, I think Reload is just a perfect way to play. And yeah, I don't know. It's a really, really good game. I think the remake is excellent. I know there were some problems that people didn't like about them removing like the tiredness aspect of the original game, where like you could get tired or sick. That doesn't happen in Reload, so that's not a thing, which I'm totally okay with, because I remember playing FES back in the day and being really frustrated by it. So
yeah,
makes it a little easier, but I really like it. So Bullfrog said, do you think Reload will make it to Switch 2? Absolutely. I definitely think it will. I played it primarily on Steam Deck, and it ran at 60 frames like on Ultra. So, I mean, it's definitely capable of running on Switch 2 without a doubt. But
yeah, I want to get to it at some point. I don't know, man. I don't feel like jumping in and managing every school day, and
yeah.
Persona takes a lot out of you. I think
it does.
It requires a lot of focus when you're playing it, and
yeah.
it's a long time commitment. And I don't know. I'm just not feeling Persona anymore. I'll probably jump into Persona 6 though when it comes out.
Yeah.
I really do want to play Persona 3 again, but
the remake is really, really good. I think my final clock was like 80 hours. So I
you did say you like it more than 5, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I did not play The Answer. I just went on YouTube and watched a 2-hour video of the story, which I was so glad I did.
Yeah.
Because apparently it's 30 hours of grinding and 2 hours of story. So
I feel so justified, because I've been saying forever that I think Persona 3 is the best one, and that I think the ranking goes 3, 5, 4.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Everyone was hot on Persona 4 Golden's nuts forever, dude. And I'm like, man, I think Persona 4 is the weakest out of the 3. Yeah. And everyone thought I was crazy, but with 3 getting remade like this, it's bringing a lot of people to give 3 a real fair shot, I think. Because I think back in the day, people would play 4 on like the Vita or, the PS4, and that would be their first Persona game. So they were like always biased towards it. And then they would play 3 and compare it to 4, and it wasn't that. And I think that when you look at them in a complete package, I think 3 has the better story and better characters and better environment. So I don't know. The 4 to me was always just it was too weird happy. I don't know.
I still love 4, but to your point, like it was my first Persona game, and I think it was a lot of people's first Persona game because of the hype around it being on Vita. That seemed to be really the first like massive one here in the US. Like I know obviously people played 3 and 4 on PS2 when they came out, but when it dropped on Vita, I guess there was just some energy behind that release. And so I definitely was like, 4 was one of my favorites, and then I played 5, and 5 was my favorite. Yep. Now having gone back to play 3, I don't think it compares. I think plot-wise, it's a much different game. It's very streamlined compared to 4 and 5, but the plot is just stellar. And I actually really liked all the characters and what they do with them. Like even Aigis, going into that game and just knowing a little bit about Aigis's character from, externally from playing for Arena and some of these other games that she's in, I didn't really care about her that much. But then by the end of the game, she was like, without a doubt, my favorite character in that game. Maybe in the whole series. So just, I don't know, man. That game is really worth playing if you have not. Don't play the portable port. I think a lot of people will make that mistake of seeing, like on Switch, Bullfrog just mentioned he's got Reload on Steam. I think a lot of people on Switch will see Persona 3 Portable and try to play it on there. Don't play that version. Coach was asking me that the other day. It's really like stripped down. They remove the cutscenes. It's not the version.
I played a little bit of that on PSP back in the day. It wasn't very exciting. I'm not trying to be a dick when I say this. Like, I just don't have that familiarity with Persona. I played like 8 hours probably of Persona 4 back when that was like the only Vita game to play. And I'm not trying to be a dick when I ask this. Are these games as good as Catherine? I understand like they're fundamentally different.
I would Catherine takes the heart and soul of Persona and compresses it into like a 15-20 hour game. Whereas that I think they're that same level of quality for a Persona game is spread out over 100 hours. Okay. I think that's the big difference. Yeah, I would say so.
What should be my first Persona game? I've got Reload, I've got Persona 4 Golden, I've got Persona 5 Royal. I am hopefully going to pull ahead in my trophy war by the end of the summer. This fall, the only game I really want to play is Death Stranding 1 Director's Cut, so I can grab Death Stranding 2 and jump into that. Yeah. I also realistically think I'm going to have to take a break between Death Stranding 1 and 2. I would like to do that, but I kind of want to make this Japanese game summer, fall, winter. Which Persona game should I start with?
I think 3.
I mean, my personal opinion is just whatever the newest one is. They don't connect, and I think they get better in quality as it goes.
And at this point, like, just wait for the remake of 4 whenever that drops. I think 3 is easiest. Mechanically, it is the simplest of the games. Like, you have, this is not going to mean anything to you, George, but you have one less social stat. So I think in 5 you have like 4 or 5 different social stats. In 3 you only have 3 to worry about. And then in 5 you've got your story dungeon and then like a side dungeon you simultaneously have to worry about. In 3 it's just 1. So it's really like streamlined. I think for a new player to Persona, 3 is definitely the one to play. Okay. So
yeah, well, I will check that out probably later in the summer then. I mean, I do have 5 platinums. Otherwise, I have to buy 2 6-packs for 2 friends next week. So I gotta focus on my Batman Telltale Season 2. Gotta focus on my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection and my Lego Jurassic World and my Cat Quest. Yeah. Oh, fuck. I forgot. Those are games I've been playing. Cat Quest 1 and Cat Quest 2. Those games are fucking rad, by the way.
I've heard they're really good.
Little action RPG games, super cute, super endearing, really fun to play, good action. Cannot recommend them enough.
Just to your point, you were talking about playing Japanese games later this year, and this will be my last thing. I started Metaphor right after, so I'm about 5 hours in. I love it so far, but I haven't gotten super far into it, but I'm looking forward to playing more. So that's kind of what I've been up to. But before we wrap up, I wanted us, because I think we kind of had to talk about the situation with Microsoft, and what kind of went down with them over this past couple of weeks. So I had an article up and now it is gone, but I think within the past week or two, maybe it was last week, we had that announcement that they were cutting all these jobs. Like, was it about 1,000 jobs? Do you guys remember? I think it was somewhere in that realm. It was more.
Yeah, way more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to pull it up. Oh, 9,000. 9,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say just I thought I wasn't sure if you were talking about the same event because like just recently it was like 9,000. Yeah.
So that was about a week ago. That was announced, and as a result, we've had all of these announcements now at this point. So I think really the big one that a lot of people have been talking about is the cancellation of Perfect Dark, that new quadruple A game, supposedly, as Microsoft described it a few years ago. And then the team that is making it, they're gone, right? I'm pretty sure they're closed. So,
Studio's toast. You know, them.
Yeah.
Everwild was canceled.
Yeah,
also,
Everwild.
right?
Yeah, and then
it's embarrassing. It's totally embarrassing.
I think you're right. Like Seth, I do think that's actually like the right word to use. I think it's especially embarrassing because like over the last 10, 15 years, they've spent $80 billion acquiring all these studios, right?
Yeah.
And like that's like a majority of that is Activision and Bethesda being like the two most expensive ones. But like they've acquired so many people, and like I've posted about this on Twitter from Shortbox Summary. So like this isn't anything new, but it's like, man, it's so shitty that like you have the money to buy all these studios, but you don't have the money to keep the people that made them valuable in the first place. So it's like, what's the actual fucking point?
It's clowns,
from one level, and then the second one is just like, how fucking poorly have you mismanaged the situation? These people who are professionals at what they do, who do what they want to do until they're told to do something they have to do, and then it's once they start doing what they have to do, that's when it fails. Like, I
really can't understand it.
It's so fucking infuriating.
I can't understand how any of the executives at Xbox have their jobs. Dude.
Yeah.
They haven't been on the right track for 12 years.
Longer. They haven't been good
Xbox
since 360.
One.
Since 360, they haven't been good.
Right.
Yeah.
So at what point do you just go, you know what? We're wiping out the top executives at Xbox completely, and we're restaffing them because none of these guys can do their job. None of them have a plan. There's no purpose. There's no plan. There's nothing happening. And then they're like, oh, we're going to buy all these studios just to hurt the competition. That was their only goal with Game Pass. They were trying to outspend Sony, and they were trying to buy studios just to try and get themselves back on top. It's completely embarrassing. And it's like, I get so frustrated, dude, because I see people on Twitter or whatever and social media, and they're like defending Xbox still. And I'm like, I don't even see how it's possible how you can sit here and defend this company that does nothing good for the industry and only exists to cost people their jobs because they cannot manage anything.
Right.
It's absolutely crazy.
And
it's clown nonsense.
I'm taking lessons from other industries and I'm applying it to Xbox here. But like, man, do you remember Lyft? Do you remember Uber? How great they were 15 years ago because they were the competition to traditional structures. And then they won, right? Like Uber and Lyft won the battle that they were fighting for, whatever lines you want to draw. Man, then they started fucking sucking again because they could suck because there's no competition. So it's like everything Xbox is doing with Game Pass is like, oh, this is so great. Can you leave all these games you can play for $15? It's like, yeah, man, like if everyone is on board with it and they win, like it's going to become the fucking worst thing ever. Just don't let this happen. Don't let this win.
And it already is, because like there's been all kinds of articles come out this week about how Game Pass is like pretty much responsible for all this disaster and how it's not profitable and how the dude, it's so ridiculous. And like it gets me so annoyed because over and over again they have failed not only their fans but people that are like prospective prospective fans that might want to jump in, and the developers. And dude, it's crazy. Think about like Scalebound, right? Remember how awesome Scalebound looked, and then Microsoft canceled it at the last second, and they got like ZeniMax, who apparently were like 8 years into the development of this MMO, and everyone said it looked really good. Like, fuck it, we're just gonna cancel that. And it's like, guys, what are you doing? And how does Phil Spencer even still work there? Is my question. Because in my opinion, he should have been fired years ago. Get him out of there. I don't know. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It makes sense though, because that's the trajectory they've been on for forever now. I remember a decade ago, us on the podcast being like, it's E3, man. This is Xbox's time. They're gonna blow us away because they haven't done anything for 2 years. And then eventually it's like, no, they're really just not doing anything over there. They're really just not making any sense. So
it's crazy.
I gotta put my foot in my mouth because like I haven't played South of Midnight yet. I haven't played Doom Dark Ages yet.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of Xbox shit I haven't touched this year. But like, man, like Seth, you're right. Like the word is embarrassing. Where it's just like, how could you have mismanaged the situation so poorly for so long? Like this isn't a new problem.
No.
Right? They've been pulling this shit. When the fuck was Fable announced, man?
Like forever ago. I don't know.
Yeah,
at least
dude.
4 years ago. It's
and that whole situation is like, see, and that comes into play here too a little bit because part of this announcement was that Turn 10, the developers behind the Forza Motorsport series, not Horizon, have essentially been like gutted. And so now you've got, this is the situation at Microsoft. You've got the original Forza team wiped out. Who knows if maybe they'll still work on updates for whatever that most recent Motorsport game was or something. But it sounds to me like they're not going to be making any new Forza Motorsport game anytime soon. But then simultaneously, you've got Playground Games, the developer of the Forza game Horizon, that people really do care about, working on Fable.
Yes.
For God knows how long. It's like that just seems like
on?
mismanagement to me. I don't understand.
It's so frustrating, dude.
Yeah. So
yeah, but also like Sony hasn't done shit this generation either, so it's like, yeah,
why would they?
Maybe no one knows what they're doing.
That's the crazy thing too. Is that
no, but like all we've done is complain. Everyone's fucking up for the past 10 years, except like Switch 1 was great. Kind of. The hardware wasn't great, but the games were great. Yeah. PlayStation hasn't done shit in 8 years. Xbox has tried to do shit. It's all been bad or average. Like I like Starfield more than anyone I know. I never beat it. You know, like
this tracks for Sony's personality though, right? Like if Xbox was super competitive and putting it to Sony would be doing amazing work. But they don't have any competition. What do they care? Dude, it's crazy. Yeah, we'll invest all in on 12 live service games. That's what you want. That's great. How'd that work out? Bunch of fucking idiots.
I still don't understand. It's like, so you want people to spend all their time playing this one game, right? It's like, yeah. And why are you making 12 of them? It's like, I don't know. Didn't you just technically buy Bungie, who has Destiny, which is a live service game? It's like, yeah, we did. It's like, cool. Are you putting them to work on Destiny? It's like, no, they're actually making a new live service game. It's like, oh, so you're actually pulling players away from Destiny.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And also 11 other games.
Oh my god. Do they realize that people play like one live service game for years? So they're like, oh, we want people. Oh,
people can play 12 of them.
It doesn't even make any fucking sense, dude. They're gonna sit there and they're gonna be like, we're investing in 12 live service games. We're gonna all this money that goes into Fortnite and whatnot. We're gonna make our own, and people are gonna play it. No, they're not, Sony. They're gonna continue playing Fortnite, Apex Legends, and Call of Duty, and Madden and whatnot because they already invested in there. So you have to not only make a game that's better than them because you want people to pull away. You have to make a game that is sustainable and it doesn't even make, and you can't, and you're trying to make 12 of them to compensate in case 10 of them fail. Dude. What is this?
Yeah.
Who does that?
We started this conversation with Microsoft, but I agree. Like Sony certainly has issues of their own. I still think one of my favorite stories of the past 5 years was when they announced they were canceling Last of Us Factions because it was right after they bought Bungie, and the leak apparently was that Bungie came in and told them, if you guys release this game, you're going to have to keep working on it for a decade or whatever for updates. It's like, no shit. Did no one tell them that? A live service game, really? Really?
That kind of sucks, actually. I don't want to do that. They just canceled it. What? What?
I just what?
I mean, my buddy Fabio was really looking forward to that, so I feel bad for him because like he loved the original Last of Us multiplayer, but also like, man, this is like, I feel like this is a subject like we've danced around. Yeah. Like this shit actually needs to be treated like way more disposably. Where like, yeah, the BioShock 2 multiplayer wasn't very good, but what was sick was that they just made it and then they just fucking left it alone. You know, like put it in so like it can be there, I guess. But like, I don't understand. Also, like, why didn't they just remake the factions from Last of Us PlayStation 3 and just like make that playable on modern hardware? That was all they actually had to do.
No, it was crazy, dude. Because like the game was apparently almost done. Charge $10 and put it out. Why would you cancel it and not release it? It doesn't even make any fucking sense.
No, that
you can at least recoup some cost.
Fucking Concord canceled 3 weeks after it came out, 2 weeks after it came out.
That was weird. Again, that was there's 2 of the 12.
Yeah, maybe
Fair Games coming out.
I said this joke, like no one knows what they're doing. Maybe no one knows anything about anything.
Yeah,
right.
Well, I was going to say it certainly doesn't seem like Marathon is about to make a big splash either. So, I mean, they're on a pretty poor track record right now.
This is 90% of the conversation we've had a dozen times about Square, right, Seth?
Oh my God, don't even get me started. But I could run that company better than the executives in Japan, and I could do it so much better. Dude,
if Seth was running it, Kingdom Hearts 4 would come out this year.
I just saw that the Final Fantasy IX remake might be canceled. I'm like, that is a toss up. It's a layup, dude. How do they? You're gonna get me fired up, George. I'm already fired up. They consistently ruin everything at that company. Everything.
How do you feel about the Tactics remake looking?
I don't know. I think the Tactics remake remaster is an interesting idea. I don't think today's audiences are ready for Final Fantasy Tactics. That game is one of the most brutally unforgiving games I've ever played in my whole life. You can absolutely, and many people did, soft lock your game because you save before boss, and if you had not have the right build, it's impossible to beat.
I know people aren't prepared. You know how I know they're not prepared is because no one gave a shit about triangle strategy.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like, didn't you guys already kind of try this?
Triangle strategy, which came out like 2 weeks after the Diofield Chronicle. Yeah,
unbelievable.
Good job, Square Enix.
God, Jesus Christ.
Did you see, Seth, regarding Tactics, that it's not going to have, I forget exactly what, but like the added content from War of the Lions?
Yeah. Which, that's not that big of a deal. People are making it a big deal because it doesn't make any sense not to add it, but it was like a couple extra characters. The War of the Lions was more about a retranslation than it was.
But I think it has that translation, content. If I'm not mistaken. The remaster.
Yeah, there was some weird, complicated nonsense with the translation, and then like the way they announced it was mistranslated, and they had to clear it up. I don't remember.
The bigger deal was the Pixel remaster for 4 not having like the end years or whatever, like the epilogue was, right? Like,
yeah,
Jesus Christ, you guys.
Everything they do doesn't make any sense. Square Enix is such a they are the worst managed company of all time.
Can you actually rank Activision, Xbox, PlayStation, EA, Microsoft?
Oh.
Can you with Square? Can you like rank those?
Oh, dude, 100%. There has not been a Final Fantasy game that has come out without development hell since Final Fantasy 9. Final Fantasy X was completely scrapped and remade from scratch. People don't realize that. Final Fantasy 13 was supposed to be a PS2 game, but it ran into such development hell that it had to get pushed back onto the PS3. Stuff like that. Final Fantasy 14, famous. Final Fantasy 15. Oh, that didn't actually exist. That was Final Fantasy versus 13. Remember that? Final Fantasy 16. Maybe the first game in forever that did not have development hell, but it was rushed.
Versus 13 became Type 0.
No. Type 0 is its own thing.
Versus 13 is 15.
Okay, so Square is number 1 most incompetent.
I believe so. They are simply running on the fact that people love Final Fantasy, so they release trash that no one cares about. Well, I shouldn't say that. A lot of the smaller games are really good, but they don't market them and no one cares about them. And they release Final Fantasy games every year, or not every year, every once in a while, and people love them. And they have Dragon Quest, which people love. So
yeah, and even
Okay.
is it 12 that we're waiting on? Dragon Quest 12? Is that the new one? We've been waiting on that for like 6 years.
12, 11?
Whatever the one they announced that it's going to be like more adult or whatever that's supposed to mean. Even that has taken them forever. So
Square's number one. Is Microsoft number 2 or is PlayStation number 2?
Well, so it's hard because it depends on how you would rank them, because Square Enix isn't laying off people, right? They're not firing people. So I would think Microsoft would have to be number one. The only reason they're not dead is because they have so much money, and then Square Enix.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, George, you brought up EA. I just want to bring this up quickly because I think this wraps up our conversation nicely here about the state of this industry. This also came out a week or two ago about them expecting the new Battlefield game to gross 100 million players, which is the most absurd thing I've ever heard.
I couldn't believe when I read that. Do these old men never learn from the lessons of others? That's what I don't understand. It's the same situation we just talked about with Sony. Where are these players coming from?
Right.
EA? Who do you think the 100 million people that are playing your game are going to be coming from? It's crazy. I
mean, the last 2 Battlefield games have been like not great. Where do they expect these people to come from?
2042, they did fix post-launch, like the much the same way that like Battlefield or Battlefront 2 was bad at launch, has been improved since then. Battlefield 2042 is actually super fun. I will defend that. However, that game fucking sucked butt when it came out. That game was not good for the first few months. They got there eventually, much like Battlefront 2. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, is this going to be a free-to-play game that you're going to put on phones, PC, every console, and make it all crossplay so you can say that 100 million? Like, is this going to be a browser game too? Like, I don't understand where that number comes from.
I just want to be clear. I just looked it up. That is 1.2% of the world's population.
No, that's a third of the United States population. Like, there's 340 million people that live here. So that's basically 1 in 3 people, 1 in 3.5 people that live here. Like, no, man, that's not how it's happening.
This is going to put it into context. This is a number I just found. Since Battlefield first came out in 2002, Battlefield 1942, the entire franchise in total has sold 88 million copies.
Oh my god.
The entire franchise. That's like 15 games.
That sucks, man, because like I remember Battlefield 3 was the first one that like really made a splash on PlayStation 3, where like it didn't sell as many as Call of Duty, whichever one came out that year, but they sold like 9 million. It was just like, holy shit, we're real. And then ever since Battlefield 3, they've just gotten fucking progressively worse. Battlefield 4, I assume, did well because it was like a PS4 or Xbox One launch game, but man, 2042, not it. Battlefield 1 is legitimately fucking great, which sucks that no one plays that game. Battlefield 5 sucked ass.
1 was legitimately an extremely good shooter. But that was the game. So was that the game that came out like the same day or within a week of Titanfall 2? Was that the game that killed Titanfall 2?
And then it was Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. All 3 of those came out within a 2-week period of each other. And also, of all 3 of those games, I'm sorry to Battlefield 1, Titanfall 2 is the best game in that bunch.
I agree. All right, well, on that fine note.
God, this is great. I love fucking fired up Seth. And I feel like that asshole who goes to the zoo and like feeds Twinkies to a bear, where it's like actually like they should be eating salmon. It's like, no, but like they get riled up on Twinks. So like I'm just like throwing candy into Seth's enclosure, being like, yeah, but Seth, like, what about Square? And he's like, I'll fucking tell you about Square. And it's my favorite thing in the world. It's just poking that Seth bear.
Dude, it does get me fired up because I love their games so much. And then like every other day I have to read about some incompetent bullshit from this company.
I tried it a little bit earlier. I was like, do you think a Pokemon game, if it was 20 hours, would it be good? Like I tried to like draw out like opinionated Seth, and I'm like, no, I didn't get enough Seth earlier. I need Square Enix Seth.
Alden in the chat So why do these execs keep expecting Fortnite numbers on games they're charging $70 plus for?
Because they're morons. They're old men and they're morons. And
yeah.
No, because the numbers have gone up every year for the last 25 years. They expect the numbers to keep going up. Never mind the fact that it's like, oh, you guys actually have to spend money to make money. Like GTA 6 or whatever I think that's going to be like a very successful game. It's also the most invested in game of all time. Like there's a reason everyone's going to want to play it, because they've been spending 10 years and probably billions of dollars making it the most cutting edge game. But like all these other games are like, it's like, I work in advertising, and it's like when people are like, we don't really have the budget. Can you make something viral for us? I'm like, actually, I can't decide that. Like, I can't make something go viral. I can put something out that I think is interesting that will get people's attention, but it's actually not up to me or you if something fucking goes viral. Obviously, I want my shit to be successful, but like, you also keep watering shit down and making it really boring and bad. So like, I don't know how successful it's gonna be.
Right.
Yeah. All right, guys. Anything?
God, I missed you.
Any final notes?
It's been over a month. I missed you, fucks.
Yeah,
I miss you too, buddy.
You guys are good people.
We got to complain more.
Yeah, we should have like a Festivus episode where it is just like us complaining.
Festivus. Yeah, I like it.
All right, guys. Well, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you to those watching live on YouTube, and if you're watching later on your podcast app of choice, we appreciate it. So we'll be back soon enough, hopefully at some point within the next week or two, if we can make that happen. So until then, goodbye.
Smooch.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Frameskip. Don't forget you can find the show on social media at FrameSkipPod. That's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also follow us each individually on Twitter. George is at Shortbox Summary, Seth is at Seth the 90s Kid, and I, Austin Eller, am at Austin J. Eller on Twitter. If you've got a question, comment, or topic you'd like to hear discussed on the next episode of Frameskip, you can do so by submitting it to us on social media. Email us at frameskippodcast@gmail.com or visit bit.ly/frameskipq. That's bit.ly/frameskipq. The show is typically live on YouTube every week, either on Tuesday or Wednesday. You can find our YouTube channel at bit.ly/frameskiplive. Don't forget to subscribe and be notified when we do go live, typically at about 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.